What's going on, guys? Think Wavy back again, and we're talking Armor Core 6, bro. Oh, bro, man, on my days, Armor Core 6: Fires of Rubicon, man. This game, the trailer, completely obliterate the Game Awards, bro. Like, what's a God of War? What's a God of War? Game Award, you Westerners thought Game Awards was going to God of War? You thought he was gonna be Game of the Year God of War? Nah, Elden Ring, baby. Miyazaki, the GOAT. And also, Miyazaki, the GOAT, bringing back Armor Core franchise, bro. I don't think you understand. Me, a long-time fan of Armor Core, right? Long-time fan of Armor Core. Playing since Armor Core 1. Haven't played Armor Core game for 10 years. The last game was Armor Core Verdict Day. Bro, 10 years. I'm 34, bro. 10 years, bro. Do you know how long, bro? When I was 25, I was like, when's the new Armor Core coming out, bro? Like, nah, Armor Core's not coming out, man. That game is niche. That game is, not popular, so they're not gonna bring that out. One after the other, Miyazaki is banging out the Souls games, Souls after Souls after Souls. Do you know, fun fact, Sekiro was meant to be Tenchu, by the way. But anyway, so yeah, then he brings out Elden Ring, and this is it. Elden Ring is the final Souls game, And I am happy to see that Miyazaki and the team is going back to their roots. This is their real shit. This is actually their bread and butter, by the way. Armor Core, Mech Games, Mecha Designs is their bread and butter. They make the best mecha design. I don't care. Anyone says Gundam don't look as good as Armor Core. Like, if the mech designs it doesn't touch Armor Core in terms of mech designs. I mean, they are. Don't get me wrong. Gundam has some cool, mobile suits. Don't get me wrong, but Armor Core, it just looks so clean. I mean, you guys have probably seen the trailer. You see the mech with, you get the close-up shot with the mech with the pile. I don't even call it a heat. It's not even a heat pile, but it is a type of power driver. It could be a parry weapon, but like you don't see him parry with it, so it probably just is a power driver, but it's a kinetic power driver. It's just a spike because a little thing for you here. Armor Core 5 is the one that I think it was Armor Core 5. But the heat piles, basically heat pile drivers were basically the same type of weapon, but it didn't look as good as that. They're like, the heat piles in that game were like handheld. They look like some rectangle things with a little prod on the end, and that prod on the little end would be where they would puncture the explosive round into the mech. That's what a heat pile was. It was just basically a weapon. You literally puncture an explosive round into the mech, and it would explode. You wouldn't see that much detail. All you would just see is a mech get hit and it would just blow up, right? But that's basically what it's doing. It's puncturing explosive round into the mech. But here, it's a spike. So this could be a type of power driver weapon. Obviously, it is a type of power driver weapon, but it's not exactly the explosive one. the heat pile. This is probably, yeah, like it's a kinetic power driver. Yeah. I guess like so. Also, before that little electric thing that was hiding on his back, I think that was some sort of EMP because I don't know if you guys remember as much as I do, but in Verdict Day, there was literally a weapon that was like an EMP.
Select the suit you wish to pilot.
There was a weapon that was like an EMP. I can't remember the exact way it would react to. I'd think it would like shut off your thrusters and stuff like that. I might be mistaken. I might be thinking it wrong. But I remember an ultimate weapon. I think that ultimate weapon just outright killed you.
You're doing fine, pilot.
Understood. Ready to proceed.
But I'm pretty sure we had EMP type of weapons in Armco Verde. I might be mistaken. I might be thinking wrong. There's so many weapons that look like EMPs. Like especially there was a weapon. It was an ultimate. It's literally called an ultimate weapon, right? And I can't remember the exact name for the ultimate weapon, but you had one name I do remember is the Grind Blade, and there was a Mega Blade too. With the Mega Blade was literally like a skyscraper-sized beam saber. It was like double Zeta beam saber on crack. You would be like and it would be a burden because you would have to equip it to your back. It was like a big massive. This is what it looked like on Armor Verde, by the way. It was like a big massive like turtle. It looked like a turtle shell, right? That was we used to like call a Ninja Hero turtle. Like one of my friends actually made a Ninja Hero turtle, and obviously made that the backpack look like a shell and all that. It was pretty funny, cool. And obviously you just whip out a massive blade out of it. So it was pretty cool. Yeah, that would one-shot anything in line of the sight. So if I was looking at you, like not obviously looking at you, you could dodge it, but it was hard to dodge because it was a big beam. I say it was hard to dodge. If you saw it coming, you could dodge it, but if it was too late, it was just too late. You know, you just died to it. And obviously, in Armor Core, you die in Armor Core, you're dead. Like you're watching your teammates play. You know, so you better get good at staying alive and actually doing damage. Don't be that guy that just tries to stay alive and does the minimal damage and not actually help your team, because then you just lose every game. But yeah, it was bad to die in that game. If you died, you better hope someone on your team was a carry. For me, I was kind of like, I would say I was the carry on the team, but I need to play a lot of lightweight mobile suits. Lightweight armor cores, which would be more like melee units, right? I'll be super fast, get in your face, and then I would basically heat power you, and you would die if you didn't have high chemical energy. Let's talk about that, because you guys are like, what's chemical energy? Like, so in Armor Core Verde, I wonder if they're gonna bring this back. In Armor Core Verde, we had 3 types of resistances, and it was based off of what like damage options were out there. So you had kinetic damage, you had chemical damage, and you had thermal damage, right? These were all like things that were in the game. Basically, chemical is your explosive rounds type of thing. Like I was talking about the heat piles, right? Explosive rounds in, thermal is your Kawazawa, basically your beam rifles, your beam weapons, beam machine guns and all that. We'll get into that. We'll get into like the different weapons and how this stuff worked in Arma Core Verde, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna make it work like that in this game, because that was the whole fun about it. But I'm tired. Yeah, I'm running off. Let's keep on track. Kinetic was basically your rifle. Certain like physical blades were kinetic energy. What else? Certain machine guns, sniper rifles. You get the point. So yeah, if you had a good carry that was good melee, if you died, you'd be kind of hoping that, for example, me, I get killed really quickly, right? And usually that's what would happen, because I did so much practice with heat piles and stuff, making sure that, because you only had 2 ammo, so, but you could put ammo in your shoulders. So that would bring up your ammo count for your heat piles to 5. So you would have 5 pile in each driver, right? So you'd have to be accurate with them, because you didn't want to just have piles, like 4 piles, because you basically have 2 weapons in each hand, and then you have 2 weapons on your shoulders. And you could have them all be all piles, but for me, I had 2 piles and 2 shields, and I had mainly a chemical and a thermal shield, because when you made a lightweight, usually it would be weak against chemical and thermal, so what I'd use those shields to kind of help my resistances, but they only had about 3,000 HP, maybe the good ones would be like 4,000, up to 5,000, depending on what shield it was. And obviously those shields would have chemical resistances or thermal resistance, like being at the high end. So you'd be able to say, for example, this would be a typical lightweight build. You would have like 2,000 kinetic energy, kinetic resistance, which would be really good, because you'd be at a break point for a certain really powerful rifle in the game at that time. So you wouldn't get shredded by that weapon, but all the powerful, like the Kawaza will melt you. There was chemical machine guns as well, so those would melt you. So you would have to have these shields to have, they would have about 2,000 up to 3,000 kinetic energy resistance on the shield, and also have about 3,000 HP. So yeah, once the 3,000 HP is done, your shield blows off. But also you become lighter once your shield blows off, because everything had a weight to them. If you could purge your weapons too, like if your weapon, and you run out of ammo, by the way, you're gonna run out of ammo in this game. So yeah, you run out of ammo, you purge your weapons to become lighter. The game is so, they have to be keeping all this stuff, because there's no way that they get rid of all that stuff after 10 years. That everybody loved that stuff in the old games, so I hope they don't. So let's get into let's get into like how these, like, I want to talk about how these mechs actually work, right? Because Seraphi Zero did talk a little bit about, the older games, how you would have to allowed to have cannons on our back, and it wasn't a weapon that we'd have to switch out for our arm to put in our hand, and that you'd just literally be mounted on the shoulder. I know where he's getting from. I do like that as well, and I'm kind of hoping it's a mixture of the two. So, for example, you could have cannons on your shoulder or missiles on your shoulder. Usually, in Verdict Day, the missiles would go in your shoulder, but then you wouldn't have room for ammo if you wanted more ammo.
First launch is green.
Are you ready?
Also, another thing they didn't show,
I'm mission ready. Awaiting.
but let's not talk about what they didn't show. I guess let's not talk about what they didn't show. Well, I talk about what they did show. You see, when the mech at the armor core at the end puts the visor on his face, I think, but I may be wrong. It might just be like him going into a mode for his weapon, maybe. But I think that could be showcasing him going into scan mode, because in Verdict Day we had scan mode, where we literally go into scan mode and you could like see, what you kind of see what's going on around you, but you needed to have recons. Recons you would shoot these recons out, or you would have, there's different types of recons. There was recons you could shoot out, right, into the map, or you had a recon that would hover above your head and give you a radius around you of where maybe a suit might be, but you had to go into scan mode to actually see what the recons are picking up. Okay, so I could shoot, for example, if you look at me sniping right here, say I shot a recon all the way to A, right, and I can't see behind those walls, right, but then I go into scan mode, I'll be able to see everybody that's over there. That's what I thought that little visor thing went over his face might have been going into scan mode, but I might be wrong. But it did look like maybe a cool way to go into scan mode, like you just see the mech like put the visor over his eyes. But I'm pretty sure not all heads are going to have that. But we'll find out, I guess. What? Yeah, like the different legs. We had tank legs, quad legs, reverse joint, heavy reverse joint, heavy bipedal, light bipedal, medium bipedal. There's so many options. Different arms, different cores, different heads, different generators, different thrusters. You name it. Even in your head, with the FCS, your sightings, how far your mech can actually like shoot, is based off of the range in your head and the weapon. For example, if you had a short range FCS, you won't be able to use the full effect of a sniper that has long range, right? So you would want to equip a long range FCS. It's basically like a kind of like a radar type of thing, but that's what they were calling them Verdict Day, FCS. And it would obviously show you how far the mech could see and how wide it could see, and there was different ones, and it also depended on how on your head too, your head also had a range that it could see and stuff. So you'd have to be like, you know what I'm saying? You'd have to be like balancing it, trying to get the mid-max in it, mid-maxing the amount of range you can see and how wide you can see it also, because you kind of want to be quiet. You want to see wide as well, right? You don't want to see too narrow, or then maybe your other weapons won't be able to get good effects out of them. Also, it would affect your lock on as well.
Confirmed. Exiting
So
launch bay.
there was so much stuff in Armored Core Verde. To a newcomer, it could be overwhelming to see all these numbers and stuff. I'm pretty sure they're not going to take this stuff away. I'm pretty sure that it's going to be dedicated to the hardcore fans mostly. But the thing why it will be so popular is because Miyazaki is a GOAT, bruv. He just won Game of the Year, right? And he won other stuff as well. So, a lot of people know about Elden Ring, right? A lot. And now even more so, because it's got Game of the Year. If you didn't know about it, you must have been living under a rock, right? Now,
Over here.
this makes Armored Core
Begun their assault.
6 have more potential
Watch for enemy movement.
to be way more popular than any other Armored Core previous. Just think about that. Me, Seraphic Zero, we're happy, guys. We're super happy. Super happy. Cause I'm telling Seraphic Zero, he was telling people, go buy this. And I'm telling Seraphic, I think they are gonna buy it. Even if they don't even know what it is, because of Elden Ring. Because Elden Ring was so good, they were like, Miyazaki's never failed a good game, right? This has got to be a good game. You know what I'm saying? And maybe they might look at past versions of it. They might look up the data and say, it wasn't that popular back in the day. But hey, I might give it a try because Elden Ring was really good, so this game has got to be really good. And maybe we might get people coming in because they might think it's like a Mecha Souls type of game. They might just be coming in just because they're fans of from software like I am, right? And they just became a fan of From Software because of Elden Ring and Dark Souls and all that type of stuff. So the fact that Miyazaki made Demon Souls, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, Sekiro, Elden Ring, the fact that he made all these games and all those games were pretty well received means Armored Core it should have a nice road to being popular. Like it shouldn't have a problem of being seen, right? Usually Armored Core games go under the radar. This game is not going under the radar at all. People are not gonna know about this game, and that's why I say this is going to be the biggest Armored Core game of all time. And I do believe that this is going to be it's going to be a mainstay game. People are going to like it or hate it when they actually get into it. It's anything like the older games. People might not like dying and then, having to pay for their parts that are destroyed and having to start the mission again at the beginning, or hopefully maybe they might make it open world. Who knows? Maybe they might make it open world and you still have missions to go to in the open world. Like you hired by a faction, right, as a mercenary, and you get a message saying, oh well, you've got these missions to do in this open world, go do them, and you would get this amount of credits or you would get parts and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They could do it like that. So they could blur the lines between the open type of world, kind of like Elden Ring, sort of, but purely how purely mech, purely armor core style, like no actual hit R1 for light attack, R2 for heavy attack for the melee. No, that's not happening. No, that is not happening. Yeah, so I'm hoping they do something like that, because it would just make the game. It would make the game feel way more amazing, right? In my opinion, way more amazing. Going an open world, like looking for stuff, maybe like looking for parts. Like you saw the guy, the mech, the armor core at the start of the scene, and the scene where he's picking up the little part, and he's got parts on in his pack, in his backpack or whatever. That could be hinting at maybe you explore and actually go find parts and stuff and destroy mechs and MTs and stuff like that. And destroy armor cores try to kill you for whatever reason. I don't know, and also we get I forget what they freaking called, but obviously we're getting the giant bosses, right? So people think that Armor Core had giant bosses, by the way. Does anyone remember Mother Hill, bro?
I'm on it.
The big giant. I can't remember what it's like. Basically a fortress. It was a massive fortress. Motherwell. Am I saying that right? I can't even remember. But also, in Verdict Day we had White Glint, right? And he was huge. He was huge, bro, compared to the armor cores that we're piloting. So, and also in the game we had certain I can't remember what they were called, but even in the PvP, if we didn't find a match quick enough, sometimes we would fight a boss. Literally, you would fight a boss. It'd be PvE, right? You would get points for that too, and it would put you up the leaderboards if you destroyed those giant bosses that would come. I forgot what they called them, man. I'm having a brain fart. They were basically like mobile armors, for example, in Gundam. They were basically like mobile armors, but they're unmanned. They're unmanned. There's no man in them. They're sentient, bro. So yeah, a lot of people thought, just because of big bosses is gonna be like a slot. No, Armor Core already had that shit. It wasn't a lot, but we had it. We had giant mechs that we had to destroy in a little mini mech, right? Find a massive mech. Preferably with your teammates, you try to destroy that thing. Because you ain't gonna do it by yourself. And especially in the PvP world, you'd be doing PvP and then, you know what I'm saying, if you didn't find a PvP match, it would put you in a boss match, right? But you would be obviously, if you try to do that by yourself, you die. You just die. You ain't doing it by yourself. You'd have to probably be just amazing, to do it by yourself. Because those things were powerful. Most of the time, if you get hit by one of the attacks, you'd probably just outright die. And you'd just be watching your teammates try to defeat it. But yeah, I want to talk more about this. I'm actually going to extend the video. But what else was in there? What else can we talk about? Because there's so much. So much. So Yeah, I want to talk a little bit more about like the leg stuff, right? Um, the first thing that we saw was the AC with the quad legs, right? So I wonder if they're going to keep the design as
Confirmed.
how they had inverted day. So quad
Your
legs
goal is to capture the target
actually
weapons.
hovered
Warning, enemy attack
when you
imminent.
was in the
Move
air.
against battle stations. Hostiles incoming.
It was one of the best. It's literally, if you wanted to stay in the air for a very, very long time, just like kind of like floating there, you would pick the quad legs because the quad legs will allow you to do that. Was literally like hover in the air, kind of like, you know how spiders are just like,
Accepted.
they kind of glide in the air. Like it's kind of like
Your
that.
best work, pilot.
You like slowly fall in, like, and you could, you know, you'd be like charging. Like most quads would be like charging their Kawazawas or stuff like that, and shooting missiles at you from above, you know, and they'll just be hovering there type of thing. Like not hovering, but they'll be slowly falling down, and then they could probably like bounce off of a wall and jump back, get back up to the height that they was, and just keep raining down shots at you. Very annoying. It was actually those armor core's legs were, I would say, there was pretty meta, especially in the Japanese community. Those legs were very meta because of that reason. Like you'd probably see a quad on the team, like pretty much all the time, and then you'd see a couple of heavies, mostly heavies. You'd probably rarely see like teams running lightweights. Honestly, very rare that you would see a lightweight. But because, for example, obviously, like, you know why it is rare to see a lightweight? Because it was hard. It wasn't nice to get freaking one-shotted by certain things, Like, you could literally get one-shotted by beam sabers, power drivers,
Locked and ready. Target confirmed.
obviously ultimate weapons one-shot everything, so that doesn't, I don't really count that.
Targeting this area.
Or melted, completely melted by chemical beam, chemical machine guns or beam machine guns will completely melt lightweights. Also, I forgot to talk about. This is what I wanted to talk about. Is that how these weapons used to work? The thermal weapons used to work. It was all based off of your generator. The energy capacity that you had in your generator would determine how many bullets you could really shoot before you had to stop and wait for your energy to go back up. So these weapons did have ammo, right? But if you didn't have the energy to use the beam weapon, you wouldn't be able to shoot it, right? And your energy is the same energy you use
3
to
minutes
thrust
remaining.
with,
Target changed to objective B.
right? So if there was a balance between the I think, I don't know why they did it. I think they did it to like kind of nerf the Kawazawa. I don't. They could, but then again, nah. That has been, nah. I'm tripping. I'm tripping. They probably did do it to nerf the Kawazawa, but the that has been in the game since forever, pretty much. Like beam weapons would, make your energy go down, and it'd be the same energy you using to boost around. So, for example, you could be going crazy with the Kawazawa, right? Right? And then after two shots, you have no energy, and then you have like a power driver mech
Taking
or
shots.
armor core with a power driver coming at you, or with the moonlight sabers. Well, I guess it's the moonlight beam sword in armor core. But if you had no energy, you obviously you won't be able to boost. So you would have to make sure that you had a good generator that could charge your Kawasawa to fully full power without using so much energy, so you can't boost around. Because and depending on your parts would depend on how much energy your generator actually uses. So you could literally overload your generator with too much shit, right? And then you won't be able to do anything, type of thing. Like, you can't actually overload and be just, you think like, oh, I'll put this weapon on, I'll put that weapon on, and all you will see is this drains this amount of energy, this drains this amount of energy, your thrusters uses this amount of energy, the consumption is not that great with these thrusters, you know what I'm saying? There's so much, and this is why the game is so good, because there's so much for you to do and think about. You literally calculating shit. Literally. Like, you calculating how to make your mech.
Targeting this area.
It literally was like that. You'd be thinking, alright, I want a lightweight, yeah? But this core is really heavy, these arms are really heavy, and this head is really heavy, so I won't be able to use these lightweight legs because I'm overburning my legs. I'm be overweight and my legs can't take it. So then you'd probably have to switch your legs to maybe medium or maybe a reverse, because reverse legs had really good like load capacity. You could like fit quite a bit on them, and you had light reverse and you had heavy reverse. So depending on how fast you want it to be, you want the light ones, and obviously the light reverse were better than the bipedal legs, because they're reversed, they're more stable type of thing, which kind of makes sense. It's so good, man. It's so good. Like, I can literally go so much into detail about how just like making your mech wasn't just cut, dry, and say. It wasn't just like put things together. You'd have to actually think and sacrifice things in order to put things in if you want it. Like, for example, for me, let's give you a good example, right? I want to be able to use Kawasawa, right, and Moonlight Sabers. Those two weapons have really high thermal, really high energy consumption, right? So I would have to try to find a generator that is good enough, and you probably find these generators in the story mode, or you might find it in PvP. You know, like I was saying, like in Armored Core Verde, you have these boxes that you could like pick up, and you might find parts in them. So you might find a good generator that you need for your build. You know, this is what I'm talking about. Or you might find a substitute one that's not that great, but you know, you eventually find a generator that can actually be able to allow you to charge your Kawasawa and boost as well. But that is also that for me in Armored Core Verde, basically to make that type of build, it was very sacrificing. I even had to change the thrusters, so the thrusters had less consumption for the generator, so it doesn't use up. When I'm boosting, it doesn't use a lot of energy, but I'm still fast. You know, like there's a lot of mid-maxing and stuff like that, and that's all the stuff that I love, man. And I can literally talk about that forever, because that's like my favorite part of the game, is literally just making stuff. Like, you'd think destroying people is my favorite part, but it actually is making the mech is the favorite part. and then going and destroying people with my mech is obviously my second favorite thing about the game. Story with Armor Cores, it's never been their strong point in terms of like storytelling type of, even like, you know, the voice acting type of thing is kind of meh, you know. But this is Armor Core 6. We're on PS5. There's probably, you know, Miyazaki is well known, and, you know, probably more people want to work for him and stuff, so he probably's got better voice actors for this game. And I bet you the story is going to be freaking amazing, honestly. This might be the first time where Armor Core actually really shines for the story, maybe, because it's just gonna look amazing. You know, there's probably a lot more money going into this game, obviously. Man, I am literally gushing, man. I'm gushing. Like when I first saw the trailer, like, I was just like, there's no shot. It's actually here now. Like, it's here now. Because obviously the leaks a few months, like 10 months back, I think, the leaks were of Armor Core 6. So I already knew, I was already hyped from then. But now we actually get time. We understand that it's coming out next year. And I'm glad I got my PS5, man. Like, I got my PS5 for Armor Core, by the way, and Tekken 8, but mainly Armor Core. I thought it was going to be next gen only. When I saw the leaks, I thought it was going to be next gen only, but you know what? Miyazaki is not a freaking scumbag, you know, and you know, trying to, like, you know, cash grab everybody. So, you know, he's going to allow PS4 users to actually play their game too, you know. Because, like, it could have been a big kick in the teeth if it was PS5 only, and then, you know what? Miyazaki is so big brain, he's like, you know what? PS4 as well, because why? There's still a lot of people playing PS4, you know. If you put it PS5, then you're reducing the amount of people that can actually get the game, right? And for fans like me and Seraphic Zero, we don't want less people to have the game. We want more people to have the game, you know? So, I can't wait. It's just too hyped. Like, I've got a little screenshot of the quad leg shooting, like throwing the cluster bombs type of thing. And it's weird, it's like he flings it as well, the cluster bombs at the MTs. It looks like that gun on his back as well. It looks like kind of like a Gatling type of weapon. That really does look like a Gatling type of weapon. And we saw that the main gun in his right hand is a shotgun, and then probably on his left shoulder are missile pods, most likely.
You're doing fine, pilot. Keep it up.
Understood. Ready to proceed.
No, that is the shield, right? That's the shield.
Good luck out there.
That's the thing that you use to block. I'm pretty sure that's the shield. The energy shield. It projects an energy shield. I'm pretty sure that's what that was. It was the quad that has the shield, right? That blocks the missile. I think it was. So that could be the energy shield. But yeah. Do you know what's funny about that? Not so much the shotgun, but the Gatling. If that's actually a Gatling, that's actually funny. Do you know why? Because in Alco Verde, the Gatling users were actually quads. Because of what? They could hover, they could stay up in the air, just because I used to do it myself. Not gonna lie, I had sub Gatling and I had Kawazawa. I basically had machine guns, basically, on both hands. I'm pretty sure I had the heat machine gun and I had a Gatling gun in the left arm. So I'd have kinetic and chemical rapid fire type of thing, and I'll just be hovering. You'd be hovering above their heads, and just be, you know, you're drilling them from above, right? So if that's actually a Gatling, that's actually funny, because that's actually meta. That's actually a meta thing to do with a quad, is have a Gatlings on it. So that's actually funny. If it is, but yeah. What else was there? That's pretty much it. That's all that was really there that I can tell, and all that I can really say about what the old games were like. The old games were so good, man, so good. This is why, like, seeing this game, it's basically Verdict Day. This is Verdict Day style, you know. Like armor cores from 1 and 2 and 3 and even 4, they were all massive. They wouldn't even fit in this building. If this is actually building, it's probably not a building, but it wouldn't be able to fit down there, by the way. It just wouldn't. It would be breaking stuff above it. It would like they were literally the size of Gundams, I guess. Like, these armor cores are smaller than what a Gundam is. I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong about that, but no, I'm not wrong about that. That's correct. That's a fact. So yeah. I just can't wait for this game. I'm done talking. Like, I'm overloaded with joy right now, so I might sound weird, and I might be talking about something, and all of a sudden I'm talking about something else because I get sidetracked, because my mind's not here, bro. My mind's not here. My mind's just thinking about what armor core will be like. And I'm just thinking about all my favorite weapons to use from the past games. I just can't wait, man. It looks beautiful. Obviously, that's obviously just the trailer, but the game is going to look like this. I bet you any money. It will look like this. It will be dark. The game, if you look at every Armor Core game, they're pretty dark. Like, if you look at Verde Day, if this is going to be more like Verde Day, like, it's kind of dark game, you know. And yeah, everything about Armor Core is it's serious. Like, it's a serious setting. Like, you know, it's literally war, right? Between these three factions trying to take over, trying to, get as much whatever resources or whatever. I can't remember what they're fighting over. I forget. But so everything looks like, this looks like real life Mecca. Like, if Mecca was in our world, like, this is real life, this is what we would be looking, this is what we would see, you know? This is exactly what we would see. It ain't no GBO style. You know what I'm saying? This shit right here. This is what war looks like. It's not pretty, right? So it's not colorful, shall I say? Because this is pretty to my eyes. Like, you know what I'm saying? As you know, a mech fan, this is like, it looks so amazing, man. Everything looks realistic. It just looks realistic and nice. So yeah, I'm gushing over this, man. I'm gushing over this, man. I need to stop. This is like a nearly an hour long fucking video, man. Like, I can't stop. And bro, like GBO, I will be playing it. I will be playing Evolution, but Armor Core is the main game. It's the main game, bro. Main game. I'm going to be playing this for probably 20 years straight. I don't know, bro. Probably 20 years straight, bro. I want to be literally 54 years old playing Armor Core, bro. Like, making my mech. But anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next one. God bless.